Good evening. Let me start off by welcoming everyone and thanking you all so much for being here tonight. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Olivia Crooks. I am 23 years old and a recent graduate of Concordia University down in Mequon as of May. I graduated with a degree in Communication Sciences and Disorders, and I work here at Curative in the Brain Rehab and Wellness and Specialized Learning Programs. The reason why I was asked to speak here today is not only because I'm a worker here who loves her job day in and day out and will not hesitate to sing Curative's praises, although I already do that to anyone who asks me about my job. No, the reason I was asked here today is to talk about my own personal experience as a past client of Curative. You see, a little over 5 years ago, when I was freshly 18, recently graduated from high school and about to start college in a few months, I was working at the same job I had since I was 14 years old, lifeguard at a local city pool. One day, that started off as any other, I had an accident. I was working on a stand just over 5 feet tall that guards the shallow section of the pool, around 1.5 feet of water. One thing to note is that this pool was over 50 years old with no sort of updates done to it in its operational life. The stand, much like all the other stands, was old. So old, in fact, that you could see every color had been painted over the years with a little bit of rust thrown in. The chair didn't turn anymore, and any grips that had once been on the stand have long since faded. Well, unfortunately that day, the stand was wet, and I slipped and fell all the way from the top of the stand into that 1.5 feet of water. Now, as lifeguards, we are trained on what to do in those types of situations, but none of those precautions were taken. I wasn't stabilized, an ambulance wasn't called, nothing. Instead, they called my parents, and my poor mother came rushing to the pool and ran me to the ER, where I sat in a neck brace for 5 hours, getting scans after scans. It was determined that, first of all, I was lucky that I had not broken my neck or my back. But second of all, that I had sustained a severe TBI or traumatic brain injury. And this was the news that would change my life forever. In the following weeks of my TBI, here's what I learned. The headache I had since the day of the accident would most likely never go away due to nerve damage. I would have to learn to deal with anxiety that I never had before. I had issues now with my attention, hearing, and light sensitivity, and a whole other mix of fun symptoms that I still struggle with to this day. Now, after my accident and receiving the news of what my future was going to look like, here's a quick lowdown of what happened in the following months. I left work. I lived on the couch until it was time to go to college. I tried to start college. I was originally going for pharmacy. I was one of 6 admitted to Concordia University's early admittance program, early assurance program, that over 500 applicants applied to. We needed to take over 20 course credits a semester in order to keep up with the program's requirements, which made me regress in my healing process. I also had some not so great roommates that also made me regress due to stress and lack of sleep. After a few months, I had to take a medical leave of absence from school. I went back home and I developed aphasia. And for those of you that don't know what that is, I was unable to process my speech. Even though I knew exactly what I wanted to say, all I could say for over 6 months was, I don't know. And I pretty much gave up any hope for my future. I had no drive. I felt like I lost everything and everyone. I was completely and utterly miserable. My amazing parents had to put up with a girl who was angry at the world, and none of us knew where to go from there. That was until my mother, in her attempts to find help or guidance, put a post out on Facebook. There was one person in particular who saw the post and who changed my life forever, and I will forever be thankful to her, and I will never be able to thank her enough in my lifetime for what she did. Now, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, know Brenda, that lovely lady right back there. messaged my mom and told her all about this place called Curative. She said that there were programs my mom and dad could put me in that might help me get back some of the things that I lost, or teach me some new skills how to cope with these new issues. It was a no-brainer for my parents to try to sign me up. This leads me to my time here at Curative. I was able to join a Wednesday group led by the very lovely Valerie. Now, I did not want to come at all. I was just angry at the universe for putting me in this type of situation in the first place. So, poor Valerie had her work cut out for her. At first, I was reluctant to participate in any sort of activity or work on any worksheets I was given. But Valerie is a very persistent woman who does not take no for an answer. She was hard on me, and I did not like her one little bit. And that's because she pushed me when I had already given up on myself. Now, she's one of my favorite people on the planet. Valerie was trying to trudge through what appeared to be my second angsty teen rebellion phase. And there was someone else that finally made me see reason and not give up on myself. That person was Kate. Now, as you know, you've already been introduced to Kate. She's always zooming around here, decked out in packer gear from head to toe, big smile on her face, making everyone feel welcome. And I remember one day, I was giving Valerie a really hard time. And during her break, Kate pulled me aside. And she said something to me that I will never forget. She said, "You're lucky. You have a whole team of people who are encouraging you and supporting you. People who want you to improve and take back control of your life. You have an opportunity that so many others only wish they had. Sure, you might not be able to go back to the life you once had or live the way you used to, but who knows? The life you might find down this new path could be even better, and you're not even willing to try." Seems pretty silly to me. That really sunk in my brain because she was right. I was 18 years old. My life was just getting started. I had loving parents who were putting so much money and effort into trying to help me, and I didn't even care. A woman who worked with me every week, who refused to give up on me and was trying to help me get my mind back together, that I dismissed so easily. A spot in an amazing facility that some people would kill for, and I hated being there. Kate's words were the hard slap in the face that I needed to wake up and see what a pitiful baby I was being. And after that day, I worked my hardest. I did whatever was asked of me to the best of my ability. I asked for help when I needed it, and I decided from that day on, I was going to take back control of my life and live as best as I could using the tools I was so thankfully given to do it. Over time, I was able to work through most of my aphasia and was able to hold a decent conversation. I learned tools and tricks for my attention and anxiety. I even decided I was ready to go back to school. Even though I knew life would never be the same and that I was going to have to work harder than I ever did before in order to keep myself afloat, I knew I had the tools and support in place to pull through. So, after a few months, I went back to school for the second semester. I dropped my major of pharmacy because I knew that I wasn't going to be capable of doing that anymore and just took the basic classes. As time went on, I was able to take the tools that Valerie taught me and put them to use. I also signed up for our Academic Resource Center for tutors and extra help in class, which she suggested I do. A few months into the semester, my academic advisor asked me to have a meeting about my future at Concordia. What would I change my major to? Did I have anything else in mind? Now this is where I started to panic because I hadn't thought that far into the future yet. I was just trying to learn how to learn again, and now I had chosen a path for my life. To say I was freaking out is an understatement. But she sat me down and we went over the entire list of majors that Concordia had to offer. Near the very bottom of the list was a major called Communication Sciences and Disorders, or CSD. I had never heard of this major before, and it really caught my ears, so I asked her to elaborate on it. Well, as it turns out, the CSD major focuses on speech, language, cognition, and hearing. Most graduates go on to become one of two things. Firstly, an audiologist that deals with the impairment or improvement of hearing, but the second was a speech and language pathologist, or someone who works with language, cognition, and a variety of speech disorders that included aphasia. If you remember from the start of my speech, that's the major I went with, and I could not be happier. I could not imagine doing anything else with my life, and now I have a true deep-rooted passion that I did not have with pharmacy that is all tied back to my accident and my time here at Curative. Right after I graduated, I took a look at where I was and what was yet to come, and I cried because I wholeheartedly did not think that I would do anything with my life. And I sat there and said, what is a brand new college graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in CSD going to do with my life? The only thing I did know was that I wanted to find a job where I could work on a specific skill set before going to graduate school. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, look up what an SLP can do and it will make your head spin. It is a gigantic list. That is when my mom had an amazing idea to work at the place that made this all possible, Curative. Right away, I put in my application, and soon after was brought in for a tour and later an interview. As you can probably guess, I was offered a position, hence me being here in front of you today. Curative changed my life. Curative changed my life in ways that I didn't even know was possible, and has touched me so deeply that the memories I have here are forever imprinted in my brain. The people here are so amazing. Amazing and kind. Every person you see here that works here wants to be here. They want to help others and they change lives every day. Being able to be a part of this incredible team and being able to work alongside those individuals who are there for me in my time of need, such as Valerie, Joe, Brenda, and Susan, is indescribable. I love coming into work every single day and being able to work amongst others such as Joy and Daybreak, Alexa and Taylor in Brain Rehab, who dedicate so much to their work and the clients. It's breathtaking to see the strides they will go to make this place feel welcoming and inviting to all. The people I work with here have some of the biggest hearts I have ever seen. Curative is a special place that makes a difference in so many people's lives. I'm only one success story in a pool of others that can showcase exactly what this amazing facility can do for our community. So thank you all for being here tonight and supporting a place that not only brought me back to life, but a place that continues to give life to others. Thank you.